Challenges will always be there in this industry. It's not that challenges won't be there. I was nervous that I'm actually launching my label in front of the world through a fashion show. But I also understood what a big blessing it is. It's a very big platform to launch your label with, to showcase in front of the world for the first time on a ramp. There are a lot of technical challenges that one will go through when you're curating a fashion show for the first time, or when you're curating your first collection to be launched in front of the world. If my one collection did not make ample amount of profit, for my next collection, I was not given the right amount of money for sampling and costings, So I have actually done a show by using the scrap of my last collection also. If I want this girl to feel like a star, to feel like a celebrity, how should I dress her up? How should I style her so that she enters a party and she doesn't feel less than any film star or any celebrity or influencer that you think of? I think you just have to take it, it's part and parcel of your game. There are going to be some clients who are going to be very happy with you, and there are going to be some clients who just throw tantrums and may not even pick up your piece and leave. And I have faced both.
How difficult is to find funding for a fashion business? Hello everyone. Welcome again to another episode of Life Unscripted, where we delve into the lives of great entrepreneurs, unique entrepreneurs, because every story is different. Every life is different. Every journey is different. Today we have with us Nikhita Tandon, a renowned fashion designer who has carved her own space, her own blue ocean in the cluttered fashion industry using her creativity, her business zeal, and her business acumen. Welcome, Nikita. Welcome to Life Unscripted.
Thank you, Sharad. Pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you here because I believe that working in the fashion industry and actually making a name for yourself is one of the toughest tasks in the country today, because fashion has become so accessible. The
Yes.
knowledge is so abundant, and
Yes.
there are so many people talking about it and producing their own lines.
Yes.
It
There
takes
are so
some
many
cojones,
competitors. Yes.
yeah, and some kind of mental fortitude
Right.
to do something and to be successful in it.
It does require a lot of, I would say, lot of focus on the trend market which is going on, and a lot of consistency to sustain this kind of competition. You have to just keep on designing, keep on selling, just keep moving forward. You will find your niche.
So tell us about how you started. Like, do you have your parents in this sector, or is it just something which you were always interested in? Tell us about that day zero where you took the first step.
Day zero would be then when I was in school, must be 7, 8 years old. I was always enamored by ballroom gowns, always. And it's a very girly thing to say, but the fact is, I used to wonder, why is Barbie wearing a gown like this? So I am a huge Barbie fan, definitely. And my father was from export background, and it gave me a lot of, I would say, understanding and feel towards fabrics. Came very naturally to me. Even as kids, if you're playing around in the go down full of fabrics, you're touching, feeling fabrics, you're understanding what different kind of things are happening, what is a unit all about. That understanding came in at a very young age. But I started sketching gowns, drawings at a very early age. And I used to, at that time, say that I want to be a fashion designer. But I think by the time I reached that teenage and that college years, my creativity went more towards dancing. So I shifted more towards that. But, and I majored in actually, I have a degree of Bachelor's of Business Management. So I didn't really pursue fashion in education sector, but I think I was destined for it, or I had manifested it that I want to be a fashion designer. By the time I passed out of college, my mom was already a renowned designer of India. She started much later, not at a younger age, but she started designing at a later age after kids were grown up and she was done with most of her household duties and everything. And when I joined her, she was, I think it's been 25 years to her and 15 years to me. So yeah, she was the driving force, definitely, to get me towards my dream.
So, like as you said that you first worked with your mom for a certain period of time, I guess,
Yes,
and then you launched your own label. Did
yes.
you feel that pressure that since she's already established in something and now you're branching out?
No, never. So even when I joined her, which was initially taken up more as an internship, I was making a project for my college. I came with the thought that I'm going to look after retail side of her work. I was more interested in doing business. When I started working in the factory, I started draping on the dummy. I didn't realize that I was just gifted with drapes. So I would hold pins, I would look at videos, I would talk to karigars. I started pulling up fabrics, different kind of fabrics. I started actually taking pictures of what I was draping, and I showed it to her. So she realized, so she's very bridal couture, and she realized I have a very different thought process towards my design sensibility is very different from hers. So I think my best learning phase was that for 5 to 6 years, she left me under the sun with all the karigars, with all your pattern cutter, your finishing people, packaging people. She just sit and learn whatever you want to learn. And I used to be with labor, sit with them, understand how things goes. Then I started sketching. I started making khakas for myself, and because I was not very good in drawing, so I used to buy prints from wholesale markets, put a tracing sheet on it, start drawing, so that my I become much better. I start practicing how to make leaves, flowers, and everything. And yeah, I think within 6 years, I realized that yes, my heart is here. I'm enjoying this. The passion I saw in my mom's eye, which was beautiful. I was feeling that, I was understanding that, I was feeling the satisfaction of creating something at the end of the day. I was loving that feeling that, oh shit, today I have created this. And then I'm getting to wear it also. That feeling was beautiful. So, yeah, I mean, that's how I trained myself.
So you just mentioned that it took you 6 years
Yes.
to actually get into it.
Yes.
That's a long time.
Yes.
So when you did take that first step, was it very overwhelming, or is what was it like something you had imagined, or the challenges were way too many for you to begin with?
Challenges will always be there in this industry. It's not that challenges won't be there. Um, of course, like any other kid who wants to enter the fashion industry, I also gave in my, I applied for registration in FDCI. I also had to go through a couple of interviews. I had to make a project. I had to make a couple of pieces that were to be presented to a jury, which would question you further. Every time I remember, I was asked questions about my collection. I was really nervous, very scared. And I have failed a couple of times. It's not that I have not failed. There were times where they just love your collection and they'll say that, yes, you are allowed to do the next show. And a couple of times you were just called in for more and more interviews and no, make better samples, do better. And then, so there is a jury one has to pass through to get a show there in FTCI. But my first, yes, I was very lucky, very blessed. The first collection that I made, I think I just passed very easily. And next thing I knew, I was doing a show. And the excitement, the overwhelming feeling, everything started there. I was nervous that I'm actually launching my label in front of the world through a fashion show. But I also understood what a big blessing it is. It's a very big platform to launch your label with, to showcase in front of the world for the first time on a ramp. So yeah, I think that excitement was so much that I think I was allowed to do a show of 12 garments and I curated more than 40 because I just wanted to curate as much as possible and then, put my best in front of the people. So challenges, I would say, um, there are a lot of technical challenges that one will go through when you're curating a fashion show for the first time, or when you're curating your first collection to be launched in front of the world. There are a lot of things one has to understand, and most importantly, uh, you need to draw a line on your costings and your sampling cost. You may go a lot of, I have done this mistake, and I'm sure a lot of youngsters do this also. You get so excited with creation that you go on spending. You don't know, is this the MRP that people are ready to pay to a newcomer? Is market ready for your product? Are you just creating out of heart? Or you have balanced your trend and your vision very well? So if you are able to balance it from first collection, very well said. But if you're somebody, if you're a designer who has his own vision and wants to go wild with creating something, excited to be on a platform, yeah, it's a huge risk. I mean, people may accept you, people may not accept.
Based on that, I have two very quick questions, and they are great ones. I think people are going to love listening to them.
Please.
First and foremost, how difficult is to find funding for a fashion business? Like, did you ever try that? Because right now in the whole startup space, whenever you're starting something, the first thing people think is, that I'm just going to create a massive or a brilliant pitch and pitch it to the investors and get some money in. And from there, it's upwards and onwards. So do you think that applies to the fashion industry?
So I'll put it very straightforward. If you are from a background that can afford at least 1 year of lot of capital input, good. Then you're fine, you're safe. But because this work requires a lot of branding exercise from day one. So more than the amount you have put in producing your first samples, to make it popular in the market, you may have to put in a lot more than that. So marketing cost could be higher than production of your first samples. So you should be ready to spend that much. In general, this is my one suggestion that I give to everyone. Please have a partner. And if you have a partner who's ready to invest in your vision, better. And yes, today India is a market where you have so many investors who are ready to invest in this industry. In textile industry in general, they're ready to invest. They're ready to invest in designers. They're ready to invest in designers retail sector also. Luxury goods basically is growing so much, so you will find a lot of investors who are ready to invest in your vision. Garment need for buying designer garments or luxury goods, I would say, has increased a lot in India since COVID. In fact, the rise is quite high. So yes, there are investors for it. But who is your right partner? Somebody, choose a partner who can look into the managerial side of your work and also invests in a little bit for you. That is, I think, the right balance to start with.
Having said that, I think you did it all by yourself. So how did you manage that creative freedom along with those the numbers?
I had my mom investing in me. So I have to be very honest. Of course, Mina is a brand which has been started by Mrs. Renu Tandon. That's a very popular brand. So when I decided, of course, this was a very strong financial decision taken. I could have either taken an amount separate from my family and said, I'm starting by myself. Or my other way of doing was, I made it very clear. I said, I will bring in extra income to Mina by starting a brand which reaches out to different clientele that maybe this particular brand A is not reaching to, and brand B can cater to a different market altogether. The idea would be to open more and more doors to international market, um, to start something new in the same family house of Mina. So when I joined in, I'm not saying it was easy for me. There were times where if my one collection did not make ample amount of profit, for my next collection, I was not given the right amount of money for sampling and costings. So I have actually done a show by using the scrap of my last collection also. because I knew this season I cannot spend that much. But saying that, we are a very business focused family. So decisions were not taken emotionally, decisions were taken very sensibly, that okay, it's a new branch, it's like product innovation that we all
Yeah,
say it,
sub
right?
brand.
Yeah, so it's a sub brand. This was more like product innovation of the original product which was going on in the Mina. And yeah, I mean, I was funded by the company, definitely. But I had to, of course, I was very much answerable for each collection, about how much I'm putting in marketing, how much I'm putting in my sampling, the staff that I required, because the labor that I required was way more skilled than the usual labor that you find. So I had to, of course, my costings were higher, but then I had my plans of marketing ready from day one as to how I uh, plan to make more profits, or at least come at par with the original brand which is in the company, so that this brand also has a good holding in the market. I had to create a niche from day one.
Okay. So now when we talk about, sustaining a sub brand and then creating a niche for yourself as a standalone brand,
Yes.
it takes something different, something
Yes.
what not everybody has.
Yes.
So if you had to summarize it into one particular trait that got you going for these many years, and for you to, go past all those troubles and all those numbers along with the creativity and
Yeah.
whatnot,
Yeah.
what would that one thing would be?
I have worked very hard to understand my clientele. I have worked very, very hard to know and design for my clientele. Who are you selling to? If you understand that, then it's an easy cake. What happens at times, we are only designing out of heart, and then just we put it out in the market, and we are waiting for clients to reach to us. But my designing was always more focused towards the demographic, the age group that I am catering to, the income house that I am catering to. And I was very clear what are even the parties that should have my outfit. Who should be wearing my outfit? Why should they be wearing my outfit? Why should they pay me this MRP? I have to have correct answers to that. And that is how I think you can sustain.
So I think it is, along with the traits, I think it is also about, getting the right people on board to showcase what you're doing. So when you talked about the parties, that just got me wondering that in today's social media era,
Yeah.
all the fashion becomes what the celebrities or what the socially active influencers are wearing. So
Socialites, yes, definitely.
socialites,
Yes,
definitely. So
yes,
in
yes,
the olden golden days, I think it was the socialites, the correct word which was used.
yes, yes.
So how difficult is it to, get them on board with what you are doing?
Yeah.
And then how difficult is it to work with them? Are there pros, cons, or is it like always fun, or there's a lot more that goes behind?
So, Sharad, can I be very honest about it? To me, my every client is my celebrity. And I actually think like that. Because I'm making red carpet collection gowns, which is not easy to sell. But I entered the market where India was ready to accept gowns, in wedding market also, and in normal parties also. Um, I used to, I actually used to think, if I want this girl to feel like a star, to feel like a celebrity, how should I dress her up? How should I style her so that she enters a party and she doesn't feel less than any film star or any celebrity or influencer that you think of? So for me, every client who used to come to me, I used to sit for hours and sketch and style and think, she's my star today. How do I make her feel like that? That was always my one agenda. Secondly, when we come to dressing up celebrities is definitely in India very important for your brand to run. I'm not saying you can't do without it. Of course, you can. If you're a designer who's more into online sales and clothing, which is more like, massy, like, or it's a low price product, it's fine. But if it's a high priced item, yes, you need a celebrity to endorse it. And if a designer cannot have a brand ambassador, it's India is such a growing fashion market. The amount of stylists who are involved in this industry, it is great. Reach out to the stylist, ask them for help, send them your lookbooks, send them emails showing them the work you do, what you believe in. And if they like your product, they will reach out further to celebrities to wear for different occasions and all the red carpet events that happen. If they like your product, if the fit is good, of course, they try 1,000 clothes and decide on one. A lot about your luck also, but if you're good, you will be noticed one day.
So when we talk about building a brand, a personal brand, I think it also a personal brand, as in this regard, it's the fashion brand, which is
Yes.
the label.
Yes.
So it directly
Label.
attaches to the designer.
Right.
So when you are building this up, there's gonna be a lot of negativity also thrown at you. With anything, you build a product, 10 people might like it, 10 people might not. As you
Yes.
also mentioned that there's gonna be different price labels attached to it.
Yes.
Some might feel worth it, some might not feel it that it's worth their time.
Yeah.
Sometimes some things might go wrong.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with, because as long as you're attached to any kind of celebrity name or your label for
Yeah.
that matter,
Yeah.
how do you make sure that you repel all the negativity that comes to you?
Negativity, you mean, will come from the industry side or from people who are buying your product?
I
Like,
think both, because I personally had an incident where a designer was supposed to deliver a product for a particular wedding for my
right.
family, but they could
Right.
not.
Okay.
And then it became a very tricky situation. And
Yeah.
for us, that designer might be doing a great job,
Right.
but she failed to deliver at the right time,
At the right
and
time.
that spoiled an event for us.
Okay.
And I totally agree with it that something in the back end might have gone
Must
wrong,
have gone. Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
do understand that.
Yeah.
But in the heat of the moment, it's that event that failed, or for the person who was supposed to be in those attire,
Yes.
they feel like shit.
Yes.
So they tend to, in the heat of the moment, they tend to throw a lot of negativity. And
Correct.
at the same time, the industry as well, because I have seen that there are some people who look at others growing and they want to grow like them, and they want to see how they are doing it and grow.
Right.
Some people want to, अच्छा तो वो पढ़ रहा है मैं नहीं पढ़ता, let's pull them down.
But see, now this is in India, our designer fashion market is a very service based market, and there is a lot of customization that happens here. This is internationally, you may just enter Harrods, Selfridges, you'll pick up an Ellie Saab gown off the rack, or it will be delivered to you in your size, and then there are sizes available also for you, right? Here, most of the people are still not they are making their samples and taking orders on that, or not many people are yet um, into making too many sizes or keeping that much stock. Yes, now there are labels who do it. If your MRP is till 2025, they create lot of sizes and they're ready to hold that stock because online world has increased a lot. But if it's a very high priced product, for example, the kind of lehengas the brides like to buy, and for the wedding attire, or even evening wear gowns or something, because they are highly embellished, making sizes is not feasible, at times not very profitable that one can keep all those sizes. In this kind of a service line where there is so much of customization, I think you just have to take it. It's part and parcel of your game. There are going to be some clients who are going to be very happy with you, and there are going to be some clients who just throw tantrums and may not even pick up your piece and leave. And I have faced both. Um, there is nobody who doesn't want to give in their best in the product, and they don't want that it should not be delivered. In your case, I feel sad. It could be a genuine, it could be a back end issue or something like that. But yes, it is our job to deliver on time, to deliver a high quality product. But like I said, in any business, failures and success is everyday part and parcel of your. It's every day at my store. I may feel today that yes, I'm very successful. Clients who came felt really happy. But if one client comes and complains, of course, I wouldn't call it failure. I don't take it that much to my heart, but I always take it as a learning experience. I remember initial years of my in my work, somebody said to me, I don't like the packaging. And I kept understanding, and it was an export order that I had taken, some order in Paris, and there were 200 garments that had gone to Europe market. It's a very small order of export, but to me it meant a lot. 200 gowns at my early stage of my career, and that shipment came back to me. Now that was a very big thing for me. That, oh my God, my first shipment and it has been returned. Why? And the buyer said, I don't like the packaging. There is something about the packaging which is not uplifting the outfit. I didn't understand. So I took a flight. I didn't want to leave it till there. I actually took a flight and I went and met the buyers, and they said, it's the smell of the petrol, the dry cleaning smell, which is inside that plastic packet, and I'm not liking it. So what can you do? So next thing I did, I said, okay, now instead of using, of course I changed the chemicals of the dry cleaning, and then I also changed the packaging a little bit. Instead of using the normal plastic, I said, for you, what I'll do, I'll actually make covers in cotton khadi and send you the packaging. And I hope that you find up to that, So see, most of the mistakes that you make, and if a client is upset with you, then there is a learning phase there. That, don't take it as something, it's not failure, just take it as something to learn from. There is something you have to learn from this situation, and then grow from it, move forward. There will be people at every stage who will try and put you down. Your competitors would do. Um, but that's all right. I mean, how else can you sustain that? What is business all about?
So far, I think there has been a lot of passion from your side in terms of understanding the client needs and delivering exactly what they want.
Yes.
So I would like to deep dive a bit more on the client side of stuff. So we, as the men, we are on the clientele side of swiping the card.
Okay.
Wherein our wives and our spouses and our family, they are the ones buying these designer pieces. Now, one question I think.
I disagree. Men really buy a lot of designer clothing right now.
Okay, we do, but we reuse it. That was my question. So
Okay.
they buy it, wear
Yes.
it once, and
Yes.
then it's kept inside in some place and in this big of a box. So now we lose that particular space and it keeps stacking up.
Yeah.
There's no use for that cloth again. How do you intend to counter this problem?
I don't think that's a problem. Honestly, designer clothing is truly an investment.
So why don't they reuse it?
You are paying something for really classic things to stay inside your wardrobe. You may not see your wife wearing it in just 2 months because of, thanks to Instagram, you cannot repeat an outfit that many times. The social pressure is quite a lot. But after a couple of years, yes, she would use it. More than that, I must say clients also need to know how to style a product differently. The same outfit can be worn if it is styled separately, differently. That is where people, if they just kind of educate themselves, or they can go back to the designer, speak to the designer. And I have a lot of clients who have come back to me for this. And I actually help out a lot of people. I have actually made my short dresses um, into salwar kameez also, turned them around. And we've all done that. When I got married, my mom gave me her best of silk sarees. I said, yes, 2 sarees, I'll wear it as it is, but the other I may not be able to. So I actually, and we both did, we made a jacket trouser for the cocktail night out of our Banarsi old sarees. Kanjivaram sari, in fact. I cut it and made a jacket out of it. So yeah, if you're ready, I mean, if you love that outfit so much, and next investment is just maybe educate yourself on how to styling it differently. Even accessory designing can make your photograph look very different. Like, if first time you're wearing this outfit and the next time you wear outfit, if your hair, makeup, your jewelry, your footwear, your bag, or maybe just a small drape is different, you'll be able to use it. So nothing goes waste.
That's a very good insight.
Yeah, I'm telling you, nothing goes waste. In fact, the next generation will use it more beautifully.
Okay. Now, moving towards a very specific questions, like, are there any pointers or any particular set of advice you would like to give the young fashion designers who are just coming out with the labels,
Yeah.
so that they can do the things you did, but in a much more efficient and faster way?
I would really suggest all the youngsters who are entering this market, all the newcomers, just be a bit more conscious about the business aspect, about how can you make profits from your first season. It's not that everybody has to first make losses and then make profits. No, you can make profit from your first collection onwards, but be extremely conscious of how much you're putting in. And it is good to have a little work that you can delegate to managers. It's good to hire right people for the right job. It's a lot of people make this mistake. They think, I'm going to sell, I'm going to design, I'm going to produce, I'm also going to run to my supplier and do everything. Multitasking, no. I think it's good to divide your work.
So you have, in the span of the past minutes where we have talked, you have mentioned the topic of pricing quite a lot.
Yeah.
So I think there is also this thing in the market that any designer piece, many people, just exclaim that it's too expensive, and we are just getting ripped off or anything. So I believe that there must be some explanation or some science behind it. So do you feel that the pricing what is being charged by designer labels are worth the money, or is it something which you have to just look for yourself?
No, I definitely think it's worth the money. Firstly, I'll in the present Indian market, if I talk about the designer garments, now you have everything possible from 5,000 to 50 lakh, everything. Um, I wouldn't say that if a customer is looking for something in 5,000, they will not find. They will have variety in that also. There are designers who are making of that price point, and then there are designers who are making at whatever, 5
So
lakh
what
also.
differentiates them, the 5,000 to
But
50
of
lakh?
course, there is quality work. There is difference in, you can replicate the same look, but you may not be able to replicate the same intricacy and the same quality. So higher the intricacy and the quality goes, of course, your pricing goes higher. And I think Indians should understand more than anybody. India, it's a heritage, it's a culture, the artisans that we hold here. If you see the amount of hard work they put in even making a kali of a lehenga, if you actually go back to Banaras and you see the weavers there who are making all these fabrics, for how many hours they're sitting on the ground and they are just weaving, and the karigars who are doing hand embroidery, how much amount of time they take. They have to be paid correctly, right? And there's a lot of hard work that goes into Indian outfits specifically, or outfits which, and in India, we are definitely spending more on embroidered outfits, I would say. Even if not, even pattern making, straight cuts, and everything actually takes a lot of your effort in
So
giving the right fit. It's not an easy thing. So I don't think a designer is overcharging. If you're paying an ex designer 5 lakhs and you're paying somebody 50,000, I'm very well aware there has to be some quality difference.
okay. So now, when we talk about the today's fashion and the designers and everything that's been going on, there's another thing that has come in as fast fashion that people tend to change very quickly.
Yes, yes.
So, what do you envision for the fashion sector in the coming future?
Fast fashion is here. It's very much here now, and it is growing rapidly. Your fast fashion is something that you see mostly on Instagram, the online ads that you see, the websites which are selling really quickly. For example, your Mintra, your Nykaa, they give you more of fast fashion right now. And yes, it was a need which had to come in. It's just come in little late in India, mostly after COVID. But I'm happy that people are well aware that for every day you want to look smart, you want to wear a designer outfit. Not necessarily you have to pay lakhs for it, There is fast fashion available in different online stores, in retail stores as well. You have brands like Vera Moda and all. These are all fast fashion products, So, yeah, this is a huge market, and it's very well growing here. And it will grow. For sure, it will grow. The need for it is becoming more and more.
Thank you so much, Nikita. I think we learned a lot in the regard that if we have to start somewhere, first and foremost, there's no shortcut. You
Yes.
spent 6 years just to make sure that you take the right step, which
Yes.
is, I think,
Yes.
in today's Gen Z and millennial era, that is
Um,
almost 6 times of what
Sharat,
people.
can I give you an example?
Yeah, sure.
It's in my initial years, and I think I still do it. I remember I didn't see three Diwalis.
And that's from a fashion perspective, that's a lot.
I wanted to make sure that my orders reach everyone's house perfectly. The fit is perfect. The packaging is perfect. I remember there were three Diwalis. I actually did not celebrate because I was inside my factory till midnight packing products of people, making sure that for everyone's special occasion, their outfit should be delivered on time and in the right quality. So that kind of craziness, hard work has to be there.
Actually, the kind of passion that you have, it's contagious. Like the way you have spoken about how you understand your customers.
Yeah.
As you just mentioned, it took you 6 years. On top of it, you missed three Diwalis.
Yeah.
These are the resilient things that one needs to understand. And I believe not just in fashion industry, if these traits are replicated in the other service-based industries as well, at least.
Yeah.
So I think people will have great outcomes
Of
and would
course.
benefit greatly.
Yes,
So thank you so
definitely.
much for sharing all
Thank
your
you so
insights
much.
today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for inspiring us and at least giving me the contagion of the passion what you
Yeah.
have for your clients.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much, Sharat.